Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. So, first of all, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. Today, we have Damon with us. So, Damon is a hardworking father. He's also a business owner, and he actually works out of my facility, which is A.B.C Fitness, where he runs his personal training business as well as some of the other coaching styles that he does as well. So, first of all, Damon, how are we doing at the moment, mate?
Yeah, I'm doing all right, thank you.
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. I'm not going to lie. I have my ups and downs, to say the least, mate, as you can probably imagine. So, Damon knows me pretty well. So, first things first, mate. Let's rewind a little bit, right the way to the back of this. Actually, before that, tell our listeners or our viewers what is it you do, your job role, so they get a better understanding of who you are.
Okay, so I've been working out of A.B.C Fitness for over 3 years now. Time flies. Over 3 years. Obviously concentrating on personal training, taking some of the boot camp sessions, run some of the body transformation sessions that you've put on yourself. Also, I do pad sessions for people as well as specialise in martial arts. I've been doing martial art training for about 9-10 years. 10 years now. Obviously, he's had to take a knock on the head until obviously things kick on and reopen. But so that's pretty much it. Also, I'll do the maintenance around ABC. If people have caught the maintenance videos on the ABC Facebook page, they know what I'm getting up to. That's about it, really.
So, I mean, go a little bit further backwards as well. So before you were a personal trainer, you're not just kind of an any old bloke that's just picked up a bag of tools, are you? You've got quite a bit of a back history when it comes to maintenance, etc., haven't you?
Yeah. So going on further back, was it when I was 16? So just left 2005 when I left school. I went into doing an apprenticeship in engineering, not any old engineering, aviation. So I was making parts for aeroplanes. So I've learnt the skills there of bench fitting, milling, turning, CNC work as well. Once I've done my 4 years as an apprentice, I went on to CNC turning, but also dabbled in all the other areas of the company I was working for as well. Which obviously makes me quite useful and quite can basically pick up any old job and run with it and do it to a really good standard.
I can definitely vouch for that. In fact, right now, Damon is sitting in the reception area of A.B.C Fitness doing this podcast because he's doing all the maintenance since we're shut. So you've been an absolute godsend for us, mate, and it's been fantastic to have you on board. When it first kind of hit home, I remember I was actually sitting on the floor of reception when I had to do an announcement and tell everyone that the gym was closing. Where was your head at when that kind of hit?
Or I'd say I had a feeling it was coming very soon. Before then, I didn't realise, obviously, you know when it's going to come, but as soon as I heard the announcement, my heart sunk. I was halfway through teaching the ABC Academy at the time, and one of the parents was there, and I was kind of wanted to run away and cry, but obviously I had a duty of care to finish off the session I was doing with the kids. And I remember hugging another trainer to kind of console her, and that was Fern at the time. I was just kind of thinking, what are we going to do? What am I going to do? What's my source of income going to be? All the rest of it, because I didn't know. My head was literally here, there, and everywhere.
Mm. I mean, for those of you listening and watching, we're not quite sure what part of the timeline you're watching this from, but we're in week 6 now, aren't we, of lockdown, I think? Week 6?
Yeah, week 6.
So we're in week 6, so midway through week 6, and there's definitely no information of whether we're going to be allowed to open anytime soon. And to be honest, I think even if I was allowed to open up anytime soon, it wouldn't be a very wise decision to do so.
No.
No, definitely not. So have a little chat. What have you been up to? Obviously, I know things that you've been doing, but for everybody else, what have you been up to since we've shut our doors?
Okay, so I'll just do probably a little bit past, obviously before that time. I do a lot of research into, I know people don't like this, but computer games, but more on kind of the hardware and the software they use. So for people who don't understand, they use a system called OBS, which is a streaming service. So obviously I was looking into that just before, because I had a feeling we was going to go more to the digital route, and started researching a bit more into there. Looking into kind of like different conference calling and stuff like that. So as soon as we found that out, I had a chat with all my clients and said, like, you know, you could either stop now, wait till we reopen, but, you know, I'll give you a couple little bits of training videos to keep you active, keep you going. Obviously keeping up with Facebook Lives as well, that I do personally. But also looking at people who wanted to continue their training. So for the people who wanted to continue, everyone knows Zoom conference called in, invested into Zoom. So I do, you know, Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays, I kind of do my personal training with them, using kind of bodyweight stuff as well. But yeah, just kind of doing a lot of research into kind of maybe even taking some of the videos I do and putting them onto YouTube as well, but just kind of snazz them up a little bit so they don't look like I've just shot it handheld and put it on YouTube, kind of jazz it up a bit, put a logo, banners, that sort of stuff. So when you look at it, you're kind of going, oh, they've got information, they know where to find us on Facebook, etc. And going through that way, which has been a headache and an experience at the same time. But yeah, it's taught me a lot.
I think the fact that you've decided quite early on to adapt has helped. I think both mentally and kind of direction as well. And I'm glad that we kind of sang off the same hymn sheet with that. We realised that we do need to move online. We do need to do something with that. And you have been a godsend with a lot of the stuff that you've been doing, especially the family fitness / kids club that you're running online. And those of you that are listening right now, if you do want more information on that, just go over to the A.B.C gym page on Facebook. You'll be able to see that at 12 o'clock every day. So what's it like for you at the moment? I know that you're working at the gym. You're one of the only people that's got a set of keys for the gym at the moment. What's it like around that at the moment, at home and away, I suppose?
I'll say it'd be a bit mixed. I'm always one of these people that has to keep busy. Obviously coming from a background as well with suffering from anxiety and depression since 2000, I'd say. I've been suffering with it. I know when I need to do something or keep active, keep busy, because I go into a downward spiral quite easily. Obviously, as anyone who knows me knows, it can happen quite easily with me. Obviously, my main triggers is normally kind of comfort eating, that sort of process, going through down that route, and then some of the drastic stuff. But yeah, with about 2 weeks into it, I knew I needed to kind of get back to the gym, do maintenance to it, and keep busy that way. Because at the moment, me and my other half, Hannah, we're stuck in a 2-bed flat. We have no garden. We have a field in front of us which we can utilise and we can use, but we're stuck in a 2-bed flat. We're on top of each other pretty much majority of the time, and we've got a 3-year-old running around us as well. You know, I love kids, love them species. You know, I've got my daughter as well. But the problem is when you're in that confined space, you do start getting tense and built up. And with me being able to come to the gym has managed to me to find, sounds a bit corny, find myself and become a bit more myself than if I wasn't at the gym.
Yeah. And I suppose just having that availability, the jobs, the tasks that need doing that are, you know, they're not the kind of jobs around the house that you can just stare at and keep looking at, walking past it. I suppose when you're at the facility, when you're at work, you have to do it. You know, it's your job to do it. So
yeah,
right, you're more productive. Would you say that you've ended up being more productive outside of work now?
Yeah, I have. I'd say I have. It's more tiring,
Yeah.
but it's. I feel like I've done something. I've accomplished something. Because from a lot of people I've talked to, because you know I've messaged people online, I've done Zoom calls, I've done Facebook Lives. A lot of people now they're finding that, especially my girlfriend, she works as a nursery nurse, and her friends, since they've had to close, it feels like they've lost their sense of purpose. They don't have anything to wake up for, and now I have something to wake up for. In a weird way, you kind of go, oh, I've got to go to the gym again today. But it's nice to say that, where, you know, I feel blessed, if that makes sense, to be able to say that.
Yeah.
Where a lot of people haven't. And I know if I didn't have what I have now, and I didn't have that feeling of, oh, I've got to go to work or I've got to go to the gym, I would hate to think where mentally I'll be at and physically where I'll be at as well.
Yeah. I can hear you there, and I think having a plan in this point, or for anyone that is listening and is struggling, giving yourself a plan, giving yourself an objective and a purpose is 100% going to help you through these times.
There was
it's hard.
I was going to say there's a post I liked. I should repost it on my Facebook page and even probably put it on the ABC page. An old school friend of mine. She's had surgery on her spine, and but she works from home all the time. She's worked from home, so she's got a graphic designer. She put a post up that was quite interesting and saying, you know, she was always worked from home, so kind of already done the self-isolating at home thing that I was doing now. And a couple bits I took from that was quite interesting and a couple of people I've listened to, it's the same advice, is when you wake up, you carry on your morning routine. You know, you get dressed. If you're going to go for your workout, you get dressed as you're going to get work for a workout. You have a shower, you have a change, and you kind of prepare, you dress for the rest of the day. Then you get dressed to go to bed. And keeping that pattern, that routine. And she was saying that helps a lot. And a lot of people are saying that, where if you're getting dressed for work, you're going to feel more productive at work. If you dress for, like, you're going to kind of clean the house, you're going to clean the house, rather than kind of wake up in the clothes you went to bed in, and then you start. You still kind of in a sleep state, if that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. You know what? All through the week, I'm still wearing my gym kit. So the stuff I wear at the gym, black trousers, trainers. Underneath this, I've got my trainer top on. On the back of this is my ABC hoodie. You've got your ABC hoodie on as well. And I feel like it's almost like it is a uniform, it's a uniform that gets me in that mental state. Because at the weekend, I won't be in this. I'll be wearing, a t-shirts and shorts or something quite comfy. But the fact is, I won't be wearing black joggers. You know, I'll be wearing probably my green shorts. I'll be wearing a different hoodie or a different top, because there's no point wearing anything nice at the moment. But during the week where I'm actually working and doing stuff that I know revolves around work, the moment I pull the hoodie on, put my trousers on. It's almost like you putting on your Superman outfit and going out and doing your job for the day mentally, for me anyway. And I completely resonate with that. And I totally get where you're coming from. And I think that is important. It also makes you realise that I don't think I've worn any item of clothing that has cost me probably over 20 quid since I've been in lockdown. Nothing, not a designer label, nothing, just like cheap trainers. You know, these jogging bottoms I think cost me about 15 quid. Hoodie is the most expensive thing, probably because I had to have it printed, probably about the same 15 quid. And like all of your snazzy gear that you've got hanging up and all of that stuff that you make as your prized possession, when stuff like this happens, it doesn't mean anything, does it? It's crazy. It is crazy. The materials are crazy. So right now, I mean, tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit about your home situation. So you don't live with your daughter, do you?
No, me and the mum are separated, and it was a bit of a weird thing because we got a court order in place. It was for both of us. We said we wanted to get it sorted, so we know what's going on at what times, etc. So we're getting the plan and everything into place.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've seen my daughter for Easter. Bearing in mind, obviously, me and her mum had to have a conversation and a chat to make sure that we're not going around anyone else's house and all the rest of it, that sort of stuff. So both, obviously, me, my girlfriend, and her son, and my daughter and her mum, they were isolated. So picked her up. It was it was a bit of a stressful week when it was coming to the for the Easter period, first week of Easter.
Yeah.
Having two kids in a 2-bed flat was quite stressful at times. I'm not going to lie, but it was quite nice because my daughter managed to actually join in with some of the Facebook Lives for the family fitness to go and move forward from there. But yeah, home life in this lockdown hasn't really been that easy. It's all right calling your parents, but not being able to see them is hard.
Yeah.
Especially with someone like my mum. She suffers with bipolar, and she's all alone right about now. So I've called her once to 2 times a week, and it's the same thing probably for every grandparent out there, that the thing they're missing the most is their grandkids and having them with them. And I'm actually getting to the point where I'm actually thinking about actually taking my daughter round to see my mum.
Yeah.
But the hardest for me is then to tell my daughter, you can't go into that, can't hug them or anything like that. It's one of them. It's not nice to think about it. Actually, I'm starting to well up thinking about it. It's not a nice thing to be thinking about, that you've got to have that barrier between your mum and your daughter, and they can't interact how they normally would interact. Yeah,
we're having exactly the same. My mum, my stepmom, my mother-in-law, all the grandparents. I mean, my kids have got quite a few grandparents because of my parents have separated and remarried, and then my grandparents, my grandmother, two nans I've still got on this planet, and they are all missing their grandkids a lot. And I think if it wasn't for the fact that my mum is still working, she's a key worker, she works in social work, I think she'd be struggling, right about now. She's a strong woman, but she loves being around her grandkids, the same as pretty much every grandparent, it seems, on Facebook right now. And the kids as well. The kids really do miss their grandparents. Rosie's 2 and still calling out for her grandparents, you know, and I know Madeline is as well. All of them, not one or two. And you know, we had a family bereavement just before lockdown where I lost my grandfather, which happened a bit quickly. Luckily, we managed to all still make the funeral because we hadn't gone into lockdown. But you know, even now, Madeline, my older daughter, still asks after him, and that's hard as well. And my nan as well. She's now in lockdown by herself and newly widowed, which is, which is hard. So yeah, I mean that's also something to look at. And I think that looking forward, everyone's always looking and talking to the younger generation, making sure they're all right. It has to go the other way. We all need to be looking after our nans, looking after our parents, and calling them as often as possible, like you are, mate.
I think as well, like, to stay on that point as well, like me personally, like I've started to message all the members of my family, at least giving them a call, and just in case something happens, I just say I love you. That's all it takes, because you know, obviously we don't fully understand what's happening, and new information about this is coming out every day on how it is interacting with the human body, with different conditions, etc. You know, it's just a matter of fact of just calling them up or sending them a message and just saying, look, I love you, you know, and just saying that, just saying you, in a weird way, it's saying your piece just in case something happens.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And I think, yeah, that's so important. Round about now, just telling people that you miss them, you're thinking about them, is so important, especially for the way mental health is at the moment. I can imagine it's, you know, deterioration. Mental health is going to be rife both after this and during this. So we need to be on our toes for a lot of that. And you know, again, guys, in the show notes of this podcast or a YouTube video, depending on what you're watching, we are going to put some links in the UK for people to contact people if they are at an all-time low and they feel like they need to have a chat with someone. So we will put some links and some phone numbers in the show notes. So please do check there if you're in a bit of a bad way, because there's always someone that's willing to have a chat with you guys. Okay? So Damo, let's move forward from that. Have a chat about, are we making any plans? Are we learning anything at the moment? You touched on a few things you were learning on YouTube a little while ago to do with your live streaming and stuff. Where would you say that you've been broadening your mind lately?
Music, because I love it.
Yeah.
Just catching up with some new music, managing to kind of listen to more dance and house and techno sort of stuff. Ready, obviously, for when spin comes up. But obviously, touching on the spin stuff is learning on potentially even doing spin classes online if people actually got a spin bike. And making sure the stream is a good quality as well. Because obviously what I tend to do is I see people's Facebook lives, I see people's podcasts, etc., and seeing what it's kind of missing and how to tweak it. Obviously at the moment, a lot of the stuff I'm looking at revolves around money, and it's normally about, the kit is normally about £100, £200. So it is kind of looking at kind of like, how can I get it as good as I can with the kit I have? Mm-hmm. So at the moment, it was looking at potentially doing spin classes online. This is how all this started. So we've got the Zoom conference call. I know how to mute all the stuff to make sure only my mic is in use, making sure only people can hear my mic, my music, and people can like put a set of headphones on, jump on the spin bike and go. But it's now started to dive a lot more down that route. So kind of the lighting, backgrounds, making sure there's enough interest in the background so people can kind of know a little bit about your personality, but not too cluttered. Kind of a bit like the Joe Wicks technique, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, because he's got it. Look, it's got to be. I would say it's definitely a fake background.
Yeah, it looks like it.
But he's got bits of his personality on the shelves. So it's making sure you have enough personality there in shot, but not too much where people are like, I can't watch it. So it's getting to that sort of stuff and diving into the realms of streaming and the OBS and, you know, getting, hopefully, if people were interested, we can do a trial run with the spin. And then maybe even when we're back up and running, not only would be able to do not only spin classes personally, but we'd be able to do them online. We'd be able to do boot camps, circuits, Boxani, everything online. And it's just finding the right camera angles and learning multiple, be able to multi-cameras rather than the single cameras that we are currently using right about now.
I love that. I mean, that's a lot. So you've been a busy lad. And to be fair, there is a bit of tech that I've got that I have no idea how to use that I was advised to buy, which you can have a play with once this is over anyway. And it is a Zoom model anyway. But I mean, that's fascinating as well, because at the moment, the market is completely cornered by one company. I won't say their name because I don't want to, don't want to get in any trouble in case I'm saying the wrong thing, but we all kind of know who that company is. They sell you a bike, they sell you a subscription service, and you can ride along on your bike. But we also know that lots of people have gone out their way to buy both exercise bikes and spin bikes that pretty much do the same job and for a fraction of the price. So I think you're definitely onto something there where you've got a few options where you could train people from the company.
Touching on that, not only exercise bikes, but can't remember exactly what the bit of kit is, but even if you've got a normal road bike, there's a bit of kit where you can just lift the bike up.
You pop it on there.
Yeah.
I know. It's for indoor training. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about with that as well. I think you can pick them up for about 20 quid, which is a fantastic idea. And you know what? I think the sooner that you put something out there for that, the quicker you're going to get quite a lot of interest for that. And you know, we can always host that and market that through the A.B.C website as well. So talk to me. What are you going to focus on? What are you focusing on for when this is all over? What's going to be your big, what's going to be your main focus, and what are you going to try and target when this is kind of over?
Haven't really thought that far, really. I think at the moment my head's been so dived down into keeping my head on the straight and narrow, keeping focused, making sure I don't, go off the rails. Business-wise, it is literally just kind of be here, be present, get back to doing my classes, fall in love with my classes again, chat to everyone, build bonds, reunite bonds with people, and make the gym a home again. I know it's always been a home, but make it more of a home, making sure that because like we're talking about the mental health side, as soon as people come back in, this is going to be their safe haven. This is going to be their church. This is going to be whatever it is you want to call it, and just make it even more, even more of a home for people, a second home for people to come into. But my main goal, I think, is like I said to my girlfriend Hannah, is after we're done, is once this is out the way and we can go out, just take a trip up London, go see families, see friends. And concentrate on that, because for me that's what I'm lacking in, is just kind of cuddling a friend again. That's what I'm looking after for the end of this. That's what's keeping me going and pursuing forward.
Yeah, mate, I'll give you a hug when I see you. Don't worry about that. When I'm allowed to come and see you. But I completely get that. I cannot wait to see everyone, just everyone. I want to see everyone. Every single person in my Facebook account right now, I'd love to see you all. Even the ones I don't really like, I'd like to see you. And that's the truth of it, to be honest, because that human interaction, we are social creatures. We need that social interaction. It is so, so important. And, we are we are so blessed to not be locked down by ourselves. Some people in full-on isolation by themselves at the moment, I know that they're struggling. You know, there's two sides to look at it. You can see that some people have got the tranquility and the ease of life of only have to worry about itself, and then the other hand is having no one around, you know. It's a hard one. It's such a hard one. So, I mean, we're going to come into a bit of a close now, Damo. We're going to look at wrapping this up. And I ask everyone the same question. Now, what I'll do, I'll ask you the question and I'll waffle a bit. And that waffle is pretty much me talking to the people listening, but also giving you a bit of time to kind of think of an answer here. But the big question is, if you were to go back, and this is, you know, we're midway through week 6 now, if you were to go back in time and you could grab yourself, and I remember the moment, you know, Boris came on TV and told us that gyms have to shut, which was on a Friday. What kind of advice would you quickly pull yourself to one side in that moment when you wanted just to be in floods of tears? What kind of advice would you grab yourself by the shoulders and give yourself in that moment, which you think probably would have helped you?
I don't know. I don't think there would be any, but there would be one quote. And I've said this to my dad a numerous amount of times when I called him. And it is, you're a lot stronger than you think you are. And to me, that's what I say. Every single time I just want to give up right about now, that one quote just makes me get back up, get back on that horse, continue what I'm doing. And that is, you're a lot stronger than you think you are.
I think that's probably enough. You know, that's enough. You know, just having someone giving you that reassurance is enough to help you pick yourself up and kind of dust yourself off. And, you know, I really do appreciate that. And to be fair, mate, I think that's going to be enough for me to work with. And the truth is, I've had, this week's probably been one of my worst weeks when it's come to my own drive, as it were, and the ability to see the clearing through the trees, as it were. But I think we're coming to at least a time where we're going to get a lot more answers. We're not getting any closer to opening, but I think that we will get answers, whereas other countries that were in lockdown before us are starting to show signs of reopening, of introducing relaxation to social distancing when it comes to being able to leave the house. You know, it still leaves it up in the air of where certain businesses like hotels, the leisure industry, hospitality, where they're going to be. But for now, if we look at the likes of China, Italy and Spain, we can get a rough idea timeline-wise of where we're at, because I know that they are slowly relaxing stuff. Other than that, I mean, just one quick question. What does your little one think's going on right now? What's the kind of, what have you told her?
She knows all about it. She's unfortunately, there's been a death in the family on my just only found out recently. Death in the family on my my ex's side. Died of cancer. It's either, you can't really say what's the lesser of two evils, but died of cancer. It seemed like it was quite quick. So I think at the moment there's a lot of bereavement in that sort of side of things. But she understands the situation, what's going on. She seems happy-go-lucky as far as I can tell, what most kids are, and to go forward from that. Yeah, she's just getting on with her schoolwork. She's cracking on with it. She understands. She knows when her playtime is. She knows when work time is. And she seems like she's cracking on with it.
That's great to hear. And I'm really sorry to hear about the loss in your family. Well, in your daughter's family. And yeah, no, I hope that everyone's going to be okay and get through this. So just in closing there, Damon, I'm just going to recap on a few things that you said, mate. I mean, I love the fact that the goal setting is in the front of your mind, and, you know, having that kind of task job sheet is helping you get through. Thank you so much for being open about your some of the things you've dealt with when it comes to your mental health as well. Really appreciate that, and I know our listeners and viewers will as well. And one last thing, mate. When it comes to your own businesses and stuff, where can all of our viewers and listeners find some of the stuff that you do?
So the majority of the stuff is on Facebook or on the A.B.C page. So my business one is Body Blitz, is normally the one that I post on the most. Obviously, Instagram as well is Body Blitz A.B.C as well. Just to clarify on one thing that might actually help some of the listeners, there's a book that I would recommend. One book. It is 50 Ways to Soothe Yourself Without Using Food. See, I know predominantly it is about food, but some of the techniques in there are really good anyway for goal setting and advice, especially obviously at these point in times. But what I would say is, instead of heading for one, try and go for like 3 or 4 in one sitting.
Okay. So just quickly, what was the name of it again?
50 Ways to Soothe Yourself Without Using Food. Without
using food. Okay, cool. So yes, okay. Well, we'll put a link to that, probably, no doubt, an Amazon link, because I think that they've dominated the market for that, in the show notes, as well as links to Body Blitz and Tone, which is Damon's coaching and personal training accounts. And other than that, really impressed with the work that you're doing at the moment, mate. The stuff online is fantastic. The free content you're putting out, the stuff you're doing for families with the kids club at the moment as well is absolutely amazing. And if you'd like to catch any of Damon's free classes, they're being hosted on our Facebook page, which is A.B.C Gym. So that's A.B.C Gym, and that is on Facebook. We'll also put a link to that. Also, guys, if you have enjoyed this podcast or YouTube video, depending on what platform you are using, please do share this to your friends. The only way that these things get anywhere, and the only way that we can help other people, is by you guys sharing it and with word of mouth. So we would so appreciate it if you could do that. Also, if you've liked anything or you'd like to comment, as long as you're keeping it kind and keeping it clean, please pop it in the comments bar below. And if you'd like also to maybe be in one of these episodes, I think, Damon, you are actually number 30 of the interviews. So we've hit the big 3-0. Please do comment below, because I'm still on a mission to hit 100 people and find out their story during the COVID-19 lockdown of 2020. So thanks again for watching, guys. Damon, don't go anywhere. I'm just going to press stop record. I'm going to say goodbye to this lot, and we'll carry on chatting. See you later, guys. Thanks for watching or listening.